What's up, everyone? Adam Engel, communications intern with USA Wrestling, here with Jordan Burroughs. Jordan, you're at another camp. How's it going, man?
It's good to be back. It's been 3 years since I've been here in this wrestling room at the Olympic Training Center.
3 years?
3 years. The summer 2019, we were prepping for the Worlds in Nur-Sultan, Kazakhstan. Was the last time that I've been in this place, and so it's good to be good to be home. This has always been my second home. It's been a good camp so far.
So now, you said then you're prepping for Kazakhstan, now you're prepping for Serbia. Besides that, what's different about this camp?
You're starting to see a lot of familiar faces with USA Wrestling. Like, our team has a nucleus and a core that is consistently the guys that we are relying on. So Dake, Rutherford, Taylor, Cox, Snyder, those are the guys that we're seeing annually. We always have a certain level of professionalism here. But I think the difference between this camp is we're starting to really align with the younger generations. American wrestling is in a new era, a golden age. And it's been a long time since we could confidently say that we were one of the best teams in the world, and we could go out and prove it yearly. So, coming alongside the U20 team, U17, U15, the U23, our junior world team, that is effectively brought us into this position. A lot of the guys that I'm teammates with, I watched grow up. Seth Gross, Dayton Fix, Yanni Diakomahala, Zane Rutherford. I watched all these guys grow from the high school level, watching them come to the Olympic Training Center as 15, 16-year-old kids, and now being teammates with them is pretty special. So I think we're doing a good job really investing in our grassroots feeder program, and that's the reason why we're so good now. Definitely.
And for you being one of the most veteran guys on the team, how has your kind of leadership skills developed in not just being a teammate, but being a mentor to the younger guys?
Yeah, it varies greatly depending upon the needs of the individual that I'm communicating with. We have a solid team that all exhibits a certain level of excellence and self-mastery in the way that they operate. They do a really good job of self-governing, and that's what makes our team unique. But we also have a lot of young guys here and a lot of national team members that are here for the first time that are looking for advice on how to navigate the treacherous waters of being, on Team USA. Like, this isn't easy, but it's very fun and very rewarding. And so that's what excites me. So whether it's, advice on how to build a brand, advice on, how to operate with integrity, to be a loving husband, a quality father, how to, be the best wrestler in the world, like all those things, I feel like I've had a lot of just kind of experience with him. So, it's been a pretty cool journey. I'm kind of the rookie and the vet because, every year I try to bring a new element and a new wrinkle to my wrestling, but also there's a new pursuit. I'm trying to win this 7th title and be the first American wrestler to ever do this, and it's not an easy task. It doesn't get any easier. You get more prepared, more equipped, but you also get older each year. So, there are a lot of young, hungry guys out there, and because I've been around for so long, a lot of my competitors have grown up watching me, and it would excite them to beat me. Let's just put it that way. So, it's the task is always tough, and the burden's always heavy, but I'm always willing to work.
Definitely. And going back to the chase of the 7th gold, I know in Final X, it took 3 matches to beat Chance. Now, 3 matches to beat Chance, but for you, Jordan, what will it take to win that 7th gold?
It's going to take precision. It's going to take courage. It's going to take discipline and patience and aggressiveness. It is going to require my best. It's going to require all the things that I've already exhibited and exemplified in all of my tournaments that I compete in, but it's also it's bigger because it's monumental and the accomplishment. And here's the thing: someday someone's gonna pass 7, right? So, or someone's eventually, whether it's Kyle or one of the Kyles, Taylor, like someone's gonna eventually pass where we are now. And records are meant to be broken. So it's not my duty to, or even my pursuit to be the best in human history, but really to set the bar for the next generation. And so I want to be able to say that I did it, that I broke this record, and I was not even a world record holder, but a U.S. record holder. And considering the environment that I came from with no pedigree, no tradition, it's pretty special to me.
Definitely. And so I know last year you won gold at 79. You're back at 79 again. Is there anything that feels is there anything that feels different at 79? Do you feel more full-time kind of at that weight?
Yeah, I feel bigger now. You know, I think last year I was kind of just testing the waters, and I was unsure if I was a full-size 79. I was like, man, I'm not cutting any weight. I was leaving practice a pound over. Now I feel like with this last year of really focusing on lifting and growth and developing my body, I've really gotten to be a full-size 79 kilo guy. I was never a big guy at 74. I'm still not a big guy at 79. So you know, but I utilize my speed, my athleticism, and exploit the angles to be at my best. So I think that's kind of what we're going to focus on going into this World Championships. But yeah, I feel good here. It's going to be a different World Championships, one, because Russia's not there.
Yeah.
And I know that Russia has a great athlete at every weight class, but particularly at 79 kilos. Belarus, I believe Gadzhi Magomedov was going to be the guy at 79 for Belarus. They're not going to be there anymore as well, who was an Olympic silver medalist. So, you know, it's going to be significantly different in terms of the competition, but the guys that will be there, particularly Iran, is always going to send their best team. So, you know, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard, and I'm relying on the fact that it's going to be hard so I can be mentally forged going into it, knowing that I'm going to have to give my all.
Definitely. That's just crazy for you to like be able to get in that mindset that, okay, it's going to be hard, not going to be easy.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's necessary, because if you go in expecting it to be easy, then it's hard. You're like, I'm not prepped for this.
Right.
But if you go in expecting it to be hard, and it is hard, you're already prepped. But if it's easy, you're like, this is a breeze. You know, I love this. And so I think that's what we are always training for and toward, is to beat the best guys on their best days, to be at our best when duty calls, and then also to put on a show for the world and for our families.
Yeah.
And really just solidify our placement in history, because we've put a lot of work into perfecting our crafts, and we just want to display it to everyone who is a fan of wrestling.
Right. This is kind of off topic, but speaking of families, I know you took a giant road trip. How fun was that?
It was great and a lot at the same time. I don't want to drive anymore. We went from Philadelphia to Post Falls, Idaho, so we had 3 wrestling camps. And the reason for driving, there are a few things. One, we wanted to see the country. We wanted to spend time together as a family. But 2, flights are expensive. And everywhere I go, I got to buy 5 plane tickets because I got a large family. And so I'm like, guys, let's just hop in our SUV and we'll drive. Luckily, we had a family friend who decided to allow us to loan or borrow his RV. Anton and Natalia Payne from Hagerstown, Indiana, are good friends of ours. And they were like, hey, we've got an RV if you want to borrow it. And we're like, yeah, absolutely.
Let's do it, yeah.
So it was super effective in helping us have a more efficient trip, because we got to sleep in the RV a few nights. We got to go to see the Grand Teton National Park.
Wyoming,
got to go to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. We went to Butte, Montana, Bozeman, Montana, Post Falls, Idaho, stayed on Lake Coeur d'Alene, Provo, Utah, at the Sundance Mountain Resort. We did a wrestling camp at Timpanogos High School up in Orem, and it was a very, very cool trip. And then on the way back, we got to stop in Lincoln and see a bunch of friends and family that we hadn't seen in a long time, see our old house. And it was kind of like a pilgrimage, you know. We got to go around the country, we got to pour into the next generation, we got to touch pockets of the country that we rarely get to influence directly, and build our brand and continue to motivate all the people who love and support us.
How special was that to show your kids kind of your old stomping grounds of Lincoln?
It was amazing. It was amazing, man. And you know, one of the best things about this trip was that my kids got to be engaged as normal campers. You know, they see dad as dad, but then when they get an opportunity to see me in this form outside of, because they see me as a wrestler, they know like I'm a phenomenal athlete, but they're like, man, my dad is a leader. You know, he's a spokesman, he's a motivational speaker. He can rally the troops, and he can lead a large group of people to be at their best. And I wanted them to see that and be a part of it. And I love the sport of wrestling, and so I hope my kids decide to stick with it. And right now, it looks like they have a desire to be competitors. So life is good. I can't complain.
Definitely. Speaking of kind of being a leader and a motivational speaker, I know you were just on Twitter. I know you were just joking about being the head coach of if USC or UCLA were to have a wrestling program. But But I guess,
I would entertain it.
yeah, how, hypothetical aside, how much of a dream is that for you to be a college coach?
It's not a dream.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's not a dream, but it would be a dream if it was at the right university. I want to go to a place that has no wrestling history. That's why those two schools are entertaining to me, because they have a ton of athletic history, a lot of tradition, and a very strong brand power and brand recognition. But they're also in a beautiful place, right there in Southern California, in LA. Like, how hard could it be to recruit to LA?
Right.
I think that it's a hotbed of wrestling out in that area, both very prestigious schools with recognizable brands. And hopefully with them being in Big Ten, they decide to add wrestling to their program of sports. But I don't know how it looks for us. But I also think that being a Cornhusker and being there for 15 years has really kind of hardened my heart to rooting or coaching at any other program, except one where wrestling doesn't exist, because there's no history, and I could establish and create it myself. So instead of going and being on the heels of some storied program and try to continue to build upon everything that they have already created, I'd like to create something myself and truly start from scratch. And that's why schools like UCLA, USC, University of Texas are entertaining to me. It's got to be in a good city, it's got to be a great program with a high academic standard, and it's got to have strong brand recognition.
Right. But no, it's kind of a metaphor for you, because you mentioned you came out of no pedigree, no success. For you, kind of building something out of nothing.
Yeah, that's kind of my vibe. I like that vibe. I mean, if you look at here's the problem. You can't win a national title at every school.
Yeah.
Right? There's tiers in this game. And the tiers and the places are heavily influenced by the alma mater or by the alumni of that particular school. So, how do you get into circumvent a place like Iowa, Oklahoma State, Penn State, Ohio State, where they have such strong alumni relations, and they have Olympic and world champions that are, former wrestlers there, that are in their program, right? It's like you're not gonna upseat or uproot one of those individuals that is born and bred there to take over their program. And a place like Nebraska, for us, as much as we love Nebraska, is Brian Snyder is next in line there, and I want him to be the head coach there, and I think he rightfully deserves it, and he's earned that position. And so, it's not in my wheelhouse to desire to go and snatch a program from any particular individual. So that's why, in this sport, in order to get a job, someone has to be fired, get into a scandal, or quit. So
yeah.
I'm like, why not wait for a new program to pop up and then be the best candidate available for it?
Right.
That way I don't ruffle any feathers, and I can feel confident about my ability to do the job well moving forward.
Well, definitely. Jordan Burroughs, 79 kilos, going for his 7th gold. Anything else?
No, thank you.
Hey, man, thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate it.